I hate it here. Are we in a bear market? Maybe. The entire crypto industry is now torn. 50% of crypto KOLs calling for a bear market. A bear market in crypto is everything goes down 99% for a year, and then Bitcoin recovers for 3 years after that. Your altcoins stay down, you've been destroyed, and then when new coins arise, they have nothing to do with your mindshare or your narrative that you were like buying in for the first place. So this is the current state of crypto. They all sold, I remain. This is what we're seeing right now. I'm going to give you some earlier Raoul Pal presentation slides. Raoul Pal's done a stream recently. Nothing has changed macro-wise. Absolutely nothing. The only thing that's changed is we have extreme fear. We're breaking all these levels. Bitcoin can't pump. Needs Viagra. So shout out to Ra, my homeboy. One of the best facial hairs in crypto, by the way. So we have, this chart is a macro chart. We've got ISM, the business ISM. You know, the business cycle, friends, that I show you all the time. That's this chart here. All right. I have it nice and clean. Okay. I have this chart nice and clean. And it's obviously below 50. This is the US manufacturing PMI. Okay. There are two PMIs. There's the global. That number's like 53. And then there's just the US. What we found is the US manufacturing PMI is a very pure correlated read to the business cycle. For some reason, the global PMI, because you have a lot of these super diversified world businesses, they don't give you as much of a read on the situation as the US manufacturing PMI. So that chart is overlaid here with the Good Morning Index financial conditions 9-month lead. So pretty much they check out rate curve changes, oil price changes, they check out rate of change of the US dollar, just forward-looking stuff, what the market's expecting in the future, and they plot it out. And then you get a nice forward-looking indicator for what they expect the future to be. Now, if you remember, friends, they've even been saying this since April, March. Do you remember? I was like, well, all the macro, forward-looking macro stuff from January, February, March this year was meant to go up, and we still haven't curved up. That's why the forward-looking stuff, it's directionally it's okay, but it's hard to predict exactly in the future because there's always shocks that come out along the way too. So the financial conditions index, right? So if you actually look out here, it forecasts PMI 60. Okay, PMI 60, it forecasts it by mid-2026, June next year. So we'll see. Grind up, grind up, grind up. Okay, where we are right now is here. We are at 49. That is our light faint line. Okay, remember, altcoins are correlated to the business cycle. That's what we've seen. What makes Bitcoin special is that Bitcoin doesn't need the business cycle to recover. That is what makes Bitcoin special. Bitcoin has actual believers who don't just say they believe, they act like they believe. So in our bear market, when ISM's going down, Bitcoin actually finds a bottom and it goes up. Okay, that's what makes Bitcoin special. That's why Bitcoin is special. You know, it doesn't have a founder who's around, and some people say it's a weakness. Yeah, it's a weakness if you're in the extreme parts of the bull market, right? Because you're just like you're just like a widely distributed network. But in a bear market, it's super powerful because not one person can be taken out. It's pretty much affected. All right. So it's a defense. It's defense for the crypto industry. Here, friends, we have China. So we have China. We have their PBOC balance sheet. It's been rising up over time. They've been printing money. And then on the right-hand side, this dark blue is China's 10-year bond inverted, the yield inverted. So basically, they're showing China's cutting rates and they're printing money. And they did do this in 2017. That's why, and Donald Pump was, it's more like Donald Dump now, but Donald Dump was the president in 2017, remember? So China did the big print back then. It actually wasn't the US of A doing the big printing back in 2017. America was actually hiking rates. It all came from China. China did an enormous balance sheet expansion, and they were pretty much the ones that set a lot of the stimulus out into the rest of the world. Another chart I have here, this is Bitcoin with gold with a 188-day lead. So Bitcoin and gold, we're sitting right here. That's why we need, hopefully gold is like sitting out. So it's funny, Bitcoin follows gold with literally 188-day lag, like 6-month lag. Gold is like the immediate kind of reaction to the world money supply stuff. And then we have gold going up only here. Yeah, that'd be great if we did see something like this. This would be very scary. I don't know how many people are going to sit through that. You know, if Bitcoin goes to 180 and then comes back down to like 150, everyone's going to think it's over. And imagine there's the end of the year, there's a breakout. I don't know if we're going to get something like that. That implies a $400,000 BTC. You know, we don't know. We don't know when it comes to that. I think we just want to get out of this poopy town right here. This, friends, is the NASDAQ in white with the Bitcoin, and it's highly correlated. All right, it's still highly correlated. Okay, there is a disconnect here. See, NASDAQ is beaming through highs, Bitcoin's still a bit through the lows, you know, but it's not 100% perfectly one for one. If it was, everybody would just be turbo blasting Bitcoin. Now, friends, I need to play some angel music because I really do hate it here sometimes. I mean, like, and by sometimes I mean all the time, but, you know, we can't leave. We're locked in. Everything else is expensive dog shit. They're printing money they're debasing at 8% per year. S&P 500 is giving you 8 to 10. Nasdaq's giving you 16. That's not enough, dude. What are you talking about, bro? We've literally been sliding our purchasing power for like a decade. You need to catch up. That's why it's with this extreme amount of debasement, it's forcing people to go further and further out the risk curve. This is why crypto has been a generational massive scam and disappointment. What a scam industry we've had to sit through, this piece of trash. Because they're printing money exponentially. It's getting worse. What the masses are meant to be doing is they're meant to be taking more risk to outperform the inflation. Unfortunately, what they've done is they line up to go buy gold at the top, and now they're getting dunked on as we speak. They've also lined up to go buy robotics and that beyond vegan meat trash stock, and they're getting pumped and dumped there. So, you know, in the name of pump and dumps, that's unfortunately what they've been doing. And it's primarily because their scars run deep from 2021. We brought them in for NFTs. We brought them in for stuff. We all crumbled. It was very unfortunate, right? And, you know, it's not one person we point the scams to. It's everything. Everything. It's just the volatility is insane in this industry. It is sad. You know, it's not just FTX and Celsius, but they are representations of that. I think the FTX thing, that tilted everyone over the edge. That was like, wait a minute. This guy was like on stage with Bill Clinton. Soy Bankman-Fried. He had his little man boobs squirting out soy milk all over the stage. He was hanging around with rich and powerful people. He had Tom Brady on with him and Potsy. You know, I mean, it was so bad. Even Crypto Kobe, they stopped up only because of FTX getting liquidated. You know, so I think FTX was the one that pushed everyone over the edge. This, friends, is the Treasury account. And it's really, really low right now. This is the government liquidity pretty much. And it's low because of the government shutdown. We're already in the longest shutdown territory ever. It could be strategic to try get them to cut rates. So we're in a government shutdown area. And they're hoping that when they resume stuff, they can print more money and they can actually start to stimulate stuff out here. That's just how it works. Here we have Mr. Shim Shoney.
You humans, you're weird. Always making stuff. Always trying to do more.
This is awesome. This is some alien AI thing. That's really cool. Wow, nice teeth, bro. Nice teeth. It's really cool. Hopefully times get better. Here we have this. People clown on Taiki Maeda, but he's also probably richer than most of his reply guys. So Taiki says, this is the first time in my life I've been net short crypto. So Taiki is net short crypto. And then you have the reply section. Because reply guys don't have 50K a month coming from their paid group. Yeah, most of which money he made yield farming and running a paid group, not from directional bets. Okay, yeah. So this is it. Really? What made you decide to go short now? It's interesting, right? But yeah, that's true, friends. You got to remember, this is the game, man. I don't feel sorry for anyone anymore. Like, I never feel sorry. We're all here. We'll get bonked. We just got to accept it. What are you going to do? Who are you going to yell to, by the way? Who are you going to yell to that actually, can they do anything? No. Can yelling at anyone do anything for us? Nothing. No point complaining. No point complaining. So this is what I do, right? I ask myself, is it a mog or get mogged type of situation? Okay. We could get mogged. We could. Okay. We've been mogged for 5 years. But I just showed you the macro charts. That was very important. I go, well, I'm going to keep holding. I'm going to keep holding, you know. Friends, it's you got to understand how insane it was. When I was buying the dip, the big bear market, collapse in 2022, and I was making content saying crypto's cheap, crypto's cheap. All these people who are short now, all these people who are short, who are saying it's over, they weren't doing it. They were saying, oh, what a stupid 4-year cycle theory. Doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. Things are different now. They were saying that back then. They said, oh, the Fed's hiking rates. We've never seen Bitcoin in an environment when they hike rates so much. And they're going to put America into a recession. We're screwed for 2023. So no one was buying, but pretty much me in 2022. I'm so shocked. Now we've hit, at the end of 2025, those same people who refused to buy the dip in 2022 and they had to capitulate like much higher. Now they're saying, oh, magical 4-year cycle. Time to get out. Time to get out. I'll go, well, where was that when it was time to be bullish before? It's interesting how it plays out. Another prophecy here for you. By the end of the bull market, crypto Twitter's worshipped kings will look like snakes. Crypto Twitter's hated enemies will turn out to be major friends. Stay tuned. This cozy guy, he's making a meme. It's gone viral on crypto Twitter. This is the Coinbase CEO. This is Jesse, who's the base chain. He's like the head of dog shit creator there, because they have a policy to create a creator's economy, which is absolute abomination. They want to turn basically every fart into a song. They want to turn, every word into a book. They want to turn every coin from a post. They want to make every post into a coin. Coin it, yeah, coin it. Absolute abomination, trash, completely diluting everyone. Just filthy trash. And here you have on the right Crypto Kobe, who got a $400 million check from them. We leaked your KYC. You have to move now. So it's meant to be a play on the Milady stuff out here. Even more of the memes are coming out. I get cheap labor. You get kidnapped. So, yeah, as I said, friends, everyone knows, like, Coinbase, that's why there's nothing to cheer for, because Solana have the trenches, and then Coinbase were like, instead of, oh, man. Look, man, community is the asset. I've already told you this. Community is the asset. You already know this. If you keep diluting stuff, no one wants to see. It's kind of like, oh, imagine you went to the cinema, but the movies they showed you was just a day in the life of like every average human in your suburb. One guy, just a plumber, he's hanging a dump at home, eating his meat pie. Another girl, maybe she's a teacher. It's just her making herself a sandwich in the morning, calling her friends to bitch about one of the girls who didn't say something nice to her on the weekend. She goes to work, comes back home. She's dreaming about going to her Pilates class. Like, imagine I just made a whole movie of that. And you're like, dude, I did not come to the movies to watch a day in the life of like average people, because guess what? I'm an average peoples. You're an average peoples. I know what they're doing. Nothing exciting is happening. You know, that's exactly the problem when you make everything into a token. Oh, let's coin it. Ah, man. And then you got to think about, you got to be a bit of a sociopath as Kobe to write this long essay about how you're kind of poor, you fumbled heaps, you didn't do everything. Like, you just, the implication, doesn't say I'm doing it, but just the implication of all of that is like, look at me, I'm part of the people. I'm part of the people. I'm like, it just reminds me of that, Democrats, AOC, where they're like, oh, people are doing it tough. Literally, the bitch has got like $48 million net worth now, just getting paid on the table. And she's just like, they just know the words to say to people. You got to be a bit sociopathic to be writing that, knowing that someone is writing you a $400 million check in the background. Okay, you got to understand, friends, like, that is total grooming of an audience. That is 100% grooming. I mean, like, and these are the people, by the way, who line up and they say, Richard Hart, they say he's fat, living on top of a sandwich shop, and he's a massive scam and a grifter. And you know what? Guess what? He did live on top of a sandwich shop. So we'll give him that one. But you're doing the same thing, bro. You guys are doing the same shit. We're just a different flavor. It's just the guy who's selling strawberry ice cream is saying, oh, chocolate ice cream sucks. You're both selling ice cream. You're both selling ice cream. And guess what? I'm not judging anyone. I'm not judging anyone. Friends, I'm an outsider with you, okay? You and I, we're here. We're trying to look for something bigger and better. They're debasing us at 8% per year. Unfortunately, you and me didn't get to buy Bitcoin at like $200. Okay? We didn't get to get in super early. And the crypto industry has been an abomination for all these years. Okay? Pretty much for 5 years and counting. Okay? So, yes, our backs are against the wall. And yeah, man, you know, people have open mind and they get in early. They're in different circumstances, but it's you and me, man. It's you and me. I've got nothing to sell. I don't care. It's just, I know. By the end of this cycle, people who are put on the pedestal, reputation's crashing. I mean, look at my friend CZ as well. CZ's copping a lot of heat. That's already cracking. Because, you know, friends, you know, we all know they did the massive exchange Chinese Cabal liquidation in October 1010. They sent everything out 70% in 5 minutes so they could wipe out the hyperliquid people. As I told you, hyperliquid has big people who are trading on it, $40 million accounts, $30 million accounts. Guess what? Many of them zeroed out, so they can't even do the volume there anymore. It puts a huge dent in them. You know? Every crypto KOL continues to call for an extended altcoin bear market. Look at this guy. Total 3 BTC, hear me out. This is basically like this altcoins versus Bitcoin, down. And then you even have more. Look at this guy, Atlas. I've never seen a market this dead in 5 years. 2025 was a year of pure market maker manipulations. Trump tariffs, Bitcoin reserve, 19 billion liquidation and more. And so he believes that we're going down Bitcoin to 50K. That's like blockchain backer out here. DoorMatt, bull markets end in euphoria. That's right, sir. They do end in euphoria, right? They do. Here we have Mr. VirusCrypto. Already $1,000 became $7. Now 7 USD will become minus 1,000 USD. What the fake bottoms I have bought. For me, everything is finished already, sir. I feel your pain, but we do know it's darkest before dawn. Yeah. But like, I mean, like, I can't sit here and just lie to us. Like, we've been saying this for 5 years, man. Oh, it's darkest before dawn. Oh, everyone's out. No, they're not. It keeps getting darker. It keeps getting darker. The movie keeps getting worse. There's no light at the end of the tunnel here. Name me one good thing that's come out. Yeah. The only thing that's ever come out good is people who looked at everyone else, called them stupid, pathetic scum for holding, and dumped on everyone. They're the people who've made money for 5 years. 5. Literally 5 years. Not 5 weeks or 5 months with a little bit. No. 5 years, bro. Literally 5 years. Even Vitalik's dumping Ethereum on us. I'm not selling though, because I've shown you macro. It looks really bad. Still looking really bad. But you got to remember, like, you know, we've paid a long price with time. That's our big cost of time. So, like, when something's been going on bad for a very, very, very long time, like, it's getting cheaper over time, you know? Like, wouldn't you love, imagine I could teleport you to a time and I said, hey, guess what? The S&P 500 has been in a bear market for 5 years. What would you do? You'd go all in. Imagine I gave you the choice. Okay, S&P 500 has been in a bear market for 5 months in one timeline or 5 years. Which one do you want to go all in on? The 5-year one, right? You want to go all in on that. That's exactly what's happened to crypto altcoins, you know? Hopefully it gets better. Like, subscribe. Catch you soon.